Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Players Only YouTube channel. Welcome once again to the Premier League predictions. Match day 27 now. That means 12 games to go. We are in to the final stretch. That's why we've got the final stretch. We've got the new ball here as well. A lot to be excited about this match week here. A massive game for Arsenal. Can they keep somewhat in touch with the league leaders Liverpool? Did Liverpool continue their great run of form from the weekend with another win? Can Manchester United avoid embarrassment against Ipswich? A lot of different storylines. And you've got Bournemouth and Brighton also playing in a game that's so important for both teams' European chances as well. So lots of exciting games to come from this midweek action. Games here on Tuesday night, games on Wednesday night, and a Thursday night fixture as well. So a lot to be excited for. Before we get into this midweek prediction, looking back to last week and the points we added, only 6. So our total now ticks over to 175 of our prediction points. Again, lagging behind. We want to get 250 come the end of the season. We started well. We've fallen off ever since. And if you're wondering how the prediction points work, 3 points for the correct scoreline, 1 point for the correct result predicted, 0 points for neither. Needing a strong week desperately. We only had 2 or 3 double-digit points in the last few weeks, and it's shown. We've really struggled. So hoping to get back to my best predicting ways here in this video here. With that being said, let's get straight now into these predictions. It is the South Coast matchup. Brighton take on Bournemouth in our first game for the midweek. A massive game for both these sides in terms of their European chances. Brighton turning some of their form around. A very impressive performance. 4-0 dominating versus Southampton last time out. They're on a good little run of form now. 7 goals scored in their last 2 games. 2 clean sheets in that time as well. They picked up 4 wins out of 12, however, at home. So they're wanting to continue this good run of form at home as well here and make a real great run in towards the back end of the season. They started well, they fell away kind of in the middle of the season. Looks like they're starting to turn things around. Better football, better pace in their play. Goals are coming back into their game, and that's a very, very exciting thing to see for Brighton fans. Going to this game here, I think João Pedro once more will be another pivotal figure. A goal and an assist last time out versus Southampton. Remember, he tore up Bournemouth in that reverse fixture only a few weeks ago. Looked to him as the leader of the line to be important yet again. And then once more, Ayari and Baliba back in that midfield. All of a sudden, Brighton look like a much more defensively sound side. They win that midfield area and they get the ball progressing forward more often than not. So those two in there, massive games to come from those two to match the energy and the enthusiasm and the skill of a Christie and Adams Bournemouth combination as well. So a massive midfield battle to be excited about in this game here. Looking at Bournemouth, it was a very underwhelming performance. A 1-0 loss at home to Wolves. Obviously that red card to Ilyas Arbani hurts him. Even to this game here, without the massive centre-half to partner Dean Huijsen, it looks like a very weak side, especially with all the injury problems that Bournemouth have been going through. A massive chance here for Dean Huijsen to step up and show everyone what he's all about. Obviously, links away. This release fee has been talked about a lot. This is a great chance to stand up and be known as a top centre-back. If he can do it alone, because I doubt there's going to be much replacement there for Bournemouth, this will go as a big tick next to his CV there. Looking up the side, they're unbeaten their last 5 games away from home. They're the 5th best away team in the Premier League. So you know that they're going to go out here and make a real scrap of this game, despite being a little bit up and down in that last performance there. They want to bounce back here and make a real game with this one. For me, I think it's going to be alongside Huijsen at centre-half, the full-backs. I think Cook will go back to right-back. Milos Kirk as a left-back. You've got to shut down Brighton's wide players. Yankuba Minteh, Jorginho Rutter, Karim Matoma, those players there that drift down to the wide spaces, they are often the litmus test for this Brighton side. So if you can win that battle in the wide area of the park, it'll go a long way for Bournemouth being competitive and potentially picking up all 3 points in this game here. As I said, Brighton won the last meeting. They won 4 of the last 5 meetings. I do see them continuing that run of form. So I think Brighton have turned a corner here. They're playing some great football and they've got a more fit and together unit. I'd start to see them win this game 2-0, but don't get me wrong, this is a massive game for both these clubs here. We move to South London as Crystal Palace take on Aston Villa. A game of two teams trying to continue a good run of form. Crystal Palace have been firing in recent weeks. They come off the back of another impressive 2-0 win, again based off that counter-attacking style of football, and they want to implement that yet again here at home versus Aston Villa. They've scored 8 goals in the previous 5 games, only conceded 2 goals in that time there, just showing you how Oliver Glasner in the last 2 months has revolutionised his side once more, being that defensive unit, sitting as a 5-back, counter-attacking, using the pace and precision of those players as that front three to go and threaten sides. And they'll try and do it yet again here against a very, very vulnerable side like Aston Villa. Aston Villa have conceded goals in clumps. They have struggled in key moments, but I feel like they turned a corner in recent games, including that great come from behind victory versus Chelsea last time out. Quickly staying on Crystal Palace, I think Will Hughes alongside Jefferson Lerman, that midfield will be important once more. They are the leaders of this counter press. They are the leaders of the transitional play. Will Hughes 3 key passes last time out versus Fulham. Man of the match performance. I look to him yet again to be the leader of the side in terms of their counter pressing this one as well. And then looking to Mateta and Eze up front. Their link up, their precision, their incision in the final third will be so, so important. Mateta, 8 goal contributions in his last 8 games. We know he's a threat. His physicality, his direct nature, it creates all sorts of problems for Premier League backlines, and it'll be a problem for Aston Villa in this game here. Looking at Villa, as I said, that crazy turnaround 2-1 win, thanks to Marco Asensio and Marcus Rashford. I think those two will be the key players yet again here. They give them that spark, they give them that bright energy, the X factor in the final third. Rashford off the bench, Asensio playing in behind the centre forward. Those two were fantastic last time. I touched them in the previous game. I think with this Villa side looking very, very void of creative ideas in the final third, those two as fresh faces are going to insert the energy, insert that excitement, and I think yet again they're going to be so, so important in this game here to try and break down a very, very defensive Crystal Palace side. And equally important, the other side of the pitch, Tyrone Mings alongside Enzri Konsa are going to have to be at their best to stop Jean-Philippe Mateta. As I said, 8 goal contributions in his last 8 games. He's physical, he's hard to stop, he's long, he's just an awkward figure to deal with, and many centre-backs have struggled this season, so they're going to have to be at their best to keep Jean-Philippe off the score sheet. The last 2 meetings have seen an aggregate score of 9-3 in favour of Crystal Palace. Do I see that continuing? I actually do. I've got a Crystal Palace 2-1 win here for me. They're in the greater form, they're playing with some confidence, and they'll get another win here for me. We move to the Molineux for Wolves and Fulham in our next match here. Wolves obviously back to their best in that 1-0 win versus Bournemouth, dominating the ball, playing through the lines and making the most of that man advantage in that win there. Once more, we're seeing a bit of a mini turnaround from this side. 3 wins in their last 5 games, with losses only coming to Liverpool and Arsenal in that time there. And for me, the good sign was defensively improving. 3 goals conceded in the last 5 games. That's a massive step up for the side. And all of a sudden, they go from a really rough patch to once again another good patch. And they've got that confidence. They've got that form. They go home here and a massive chance to extend that run versus a really up and down Fulham side. For me, I think it's once again going to be built on defensive solidity. Totti, Gomez, Santiago Beno, and also Doherty at the heart of the 3 centre-backs. Be solid again. Be compact. Don't allow avenues and channels for those creative Fulham players to get in behind. And it'll go a long way for Wolves winning this game of football. You look at Fulham, underwhelming that 2-0 loss to Palace. Defensively, there's got to be some worries. No clean sheet in their last 5 games. They've only scored 6 goals in their last 5 games. So there seems to be a bit of an imbalance there. And I think you have to look to Bassi and Anderson at the back. I hyped this centre-back partnership up coming to the season. Everyone was excited about it. I thought that would be their backbone of their side, but it's been super inconsistent. We need to see those two back to their best here, especially away from home against a very dangerous Wolves side. So look to those two to up their game if Fulham want to get a positive result. And I think Adama Traore returning to one of his former clubs, I think he's going to be massive in this game. His physicality, his direct running and his speed could cause problems for this back 3, back 5 that Wolves had, potentially exploiting gaps in behind the back line there. So he's going to be important for Wolves for Fulham going forward. Wolves have won the previous 2 matches between the 2 sides. I can't really separate the 2 though. I'm going with a 1-1 draw. I think both teams, you got Wolves in good form as a weaker side. Fulham as a stronger side, a bit out of form. As such, they meet in the middle with a 1-1 draw here. The next game takes us to Stamford Bridge as Chelsea takes on Southampton. Chelsea needing to bounce back. Really poor last time, had a 2-1 loss at Villa. Awful second half. We know what happened late in that game there. But I haven't seen enough from Chelsea across the last few games. No clean sheet in their last 7 games. 4 losses in their last 5 games. It's all sort of falling apart. We forget they were second and so-called in a title race come Christmas, but it's all just crumbled around Enzo Maresca's side. And I feel like Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer, as those two creators in the final third, they have to put this team on their back. Palmer did it last season. Enzo was doing it through the start of the season when he sent both of them lift here in this game. Enzo Fernandez got a goal last time out. Can he continue that run of form? Can he use that confidence and drive this side forward? Because right now, both ends of the park, it's not working. But if they're going to fix one end, it looks like the attacking side will be easier to fix. So look to Enzo, Cole Palmer, Neto to drive that attacking play in the final third, be clinical and get this side back in its mojo because it's totally out of the swing of things right now. And it's a great opportunity versus Southampton, who have been awful. 4-0 loss last time out to Brighton at home. 3 losses on the bounce. Only 4 goals scored in the last 5 games. I think it's going to have to be more heroics in goal. Aaron Ramsdale was fantastic versus Brighton. 8 saves in that game there. Has to be big yet again to keep Southampton in this game. We see patches for them, but not good enough over 90 minutes. And I think Chelsea will, as such, exploit this side here. It was 5-1 earlier this season. I think a very similar scoreline here. I'm going with a Chelsea 4-0 win here at home, and condemning Southampton to another embarrassing defeat. We remain in London as Brentford takes on Everton from the G-Tech. A really interesting game, this one here. We got Brentford coming off the back of a 4-0 demolition job at Leicester, but that's no mean feat. A lot of teams have gone to Leicester this season and won quite convincingly. The side has started off the year in the Premier League fantastic at home, but in recent weeks it's been really underwhelming. Only 1 point picked up from the last 5 home games, so they're a really, really poor side at home in recent weeks. Think back maybe a month or two ago, you're looking at a top 5 team at home in the Premier League, so a lot has to change, and lots to change fast in this game here. They come up against a very, very strong Everton side. For me, you look at this side here at Brentford. For me, Mikel Damsgaard has been the guy this season. 10 assists, 11 big chance created throughout the season. He's leading all the categories for chance creation this season. He's going to be pivotal yet again to find the opportunities for Vissa and Burma and Sharda against a very, very solid Everton defensive line that doesn't often switch off and keeps it compact for large periods of the game. So his creation, his smarts on the ball will be important yet again as he continues to dominate this season. And then a massive role for Norgard and Yana at midfield, because you look at Everton, they've won recent games and dominated and controlled recent games off the back of midfield dominance. Decore, in particular, as that sort of floating number 10, attacking number 10. They're great in transition, and Norgard and Yenna are going to have to prevent that. And yes, they go under the radar a lot, and they're often underrated players. But so far this season, I haven't seen the best of them. It's been quite average performances. We haven't seen them really star in a game and take over a game. So this could be a great opportunity for them to go and do that here versus a very dangerous Everton midfield. Looking at Everton, they were probably robbed of all 3 points in the end there. VAR overturning a penalty that really shouldn't have been overturned versus Manchester United. It was a 2-2 draw there last time out. It's 10 goals scored, however, in the last 5 games. Only 1 loss under David Moyes. It's been a great turnaround, and it's out of just playing more aggressive front-footed football, wanting to take the game towards sides, and you're seeing the best of players like Beto, they're seeing the best of players like Lindstrom, Harrison, and in particular, I think in this game here, really, really important will be that midfield 3 led by Decore Garner, Ghana Gay and Decore as a 3. They were fantastic first half versus Manchester United. Single-handedly almost won the game for Everton, but second half not as much involved, and United got back into the game. So look to that 3 in midfield to be the drivers of Everton going forward. They've not lost to Brentford in their last 5 meetings. I don't see that record coming to an end here. I think Everton actually get a win. They need to bounce back after an underwhelming second half, and I think they will here. A 3-0 dominating win away from home as Everton continue to fly under David Moyes. We move up north to Old Trafford as Manchester United take on Ipswich, and as much as it hurts me to say this is actually a relegation 6-pointer. Manchester United not too far off the drop. I think it's 8 points at this current point in time to Ipswich. You do not want to drop this game because this could get very, very awkward for Manchester United. Obviously coming off the back of a lucky 2-2 draw versus Everton. Yes, much better second half, but really should have given that game away with a late penalty that was wrongly overturned for Everton. So you need to turn things around, turn it around fast. 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses in the last 5 Premier League games for Manchester United. Forget the cup form. League form hasn't been good enough, and it's been off the back of not starting games well enough. Not enough first half goals, not enough first half attacking movements and plays and speed in the game. It took to a Bruno Fernandes moment of magic for United to wake up versus Everton, and they'll want to start quicker in this game here versus Ipswich. It will come with a lot of energy rocking up to Old Trafford for the first time in many years. I think in this game here, the same duo who's going to have to stand up, Dorgu and Fernandes, they were the bright sparks versus Everton. They're going to have to be the bright sparks yet again. It's their 1-2s, their give and goes, their work down the left-hand channel that was so fantastic versus Everton first half and got even better as the second half went on. I think these two are the only players in confidence, in some form. Look to them to drive United forward and be those two players that can lead United to the final third. Then once they're in the final third, down to Bruno Fernandes to find the back of the net. He's reached double digits for goals and assists so far this season. He's been a lone, shining light in what has been a very dull season. So look to him yet again, have his fingerprints all over this game here. Look at Ipswich. They were humbled 4-1 last time out by Tottenham. Fantastic start, but just couldn't find the back of the net. I think in this game, Hutchinson, Delap, Clark and co up top. You have to take your chances, especially at Old Trafford. You're going away to a big stadium that can turn into a bit of a pressure cooker if United aren't performing well. If you go and take an early chance, some of the chances they created versus Tottenham in this game here, different story. And you have something to hold on to. You have something that you can protect. Yeah, it's so important for this Ipswich side here that, for me, just hasn't been good enough defensively. There's no win in the last 5 Premier League games. They picked up 10 points, however, away from home. 10 of their 17 points coming away from home. So they have got some history in doing some jobs away from home. This is a great chance, similar to that Tottenham result a few weeks ago. Get that early goal, protect the lead, and maybe a historic event is coming on the way here. For United, it's 6 goals in the last 5 games versus Ipswich, no clean sheet in 7. So take your pick of 2 bads in this one here. I am going to pick Manchester United at home. I think it'd just be crazy not to pick Manchester United, but I can see it definitely happening. Going with United 2-1 win here at home versus Ipswich. But don't get me wrong, Ipswich could definitely cause an upset here. We're at the City Ground for Nottingham Forest and Arsenal. A massive game for the top of the table. A massive game for the top 4 race as well in many regards. Forest going down 4-3 in an absolute shootout versus Newcastle last time out. They had moments you thought they could potentially nick the game away from Newcastle, but just not good enough over the 90 minutes. And it's a bit of a worry now. Back-to-back losses in the Premier League, 3 losses in the last 4 Premier League games. And this is all despite scoring 13 goals in 5 matches. So simply put, I look to that back line to be much better. It was a shining light come the first sort of 20 games of the season. It's faded since then. So Murillo, alongside Milenkovic, massive jobs here in this game for multiple reasons. One, you need to be better defensively. But secondly, Arsenal struggle against a compact, centralised, deep low block. You saw what West Ham implemented. They did it well. Can Nottingham Forest do the same thing? It's going to have to build off the back of those 2 fantastic centre halves. So look to those 2 to stand up in this game here and be a resilient force that can allow that counter-attacking, counter-pressing play that Nottingham Forest play with so well to go and impact this game versus Arsenal. Looking at Arsenal, very poor in their 1-0 loss versus West Ham. Their Mikel Merino, era as a striker came crushing down drastically in this game here. Not enough movement in the final third, not enough pace and precision, and it really shows. They have been a side that has either dominated games and won it easily or struggled and just got over the line. And there's been not enough of those massive dominating performances that score 3 or 4 past teams, and that's a real worry for me here. Despite that being said, they've been fantastic away from home this season, second best in the league with 25 points picked up. And I feel like in this game here, at a very hostile environment against a very good side, you need your leaders to stand up. And I look to Martin Odegaard and I think this is the game you need to show us what you're all about. No, Bukayo Saka was pivotal in that win last time these 2 sides met. Martin Odegaard has to create chances for himself and others, but more importantly, put away some chances for himself as well. Gets in a lot of different opportunities where he often makes the extra pass, which can work at times, but you've got to try and take the shot on sometimes. You are probably the most talented player in terms of attacking talent in the final third. Outside of Ethan Nwaneri, who's a young player, it's basically him or bust. Martin Odegaard has to take a grip of this front line and really try and dominate the final third. I think he has to be much more aggressive, enforce his authority in the final third and really take on some shots, make some opportunities for himself and shoot at goal because there's no other help up there and Arsenal are desperate for goals. So look to him to try and take over this game here. As I said, last time out, Arsenal were dominant, a 3-0 win at the Emirates. Do I see it going a similar way? No, but Arsenal still go over the line here for me. They need to bounce back. I think they will bounce back. It'll be a tough game though. 2-1 Arsenal win away at the City Ground. As I said, I think it's going to be up to the leaders. So Rice and Odegaard for me as the key players in this one here. We have another massive game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's Spurs and Manchester City. This great rivalry has developed throughout the years. We obviously know this season Spurs have done the double, I guess, over Man City. 2 different wins in 2 different competitions versus Man City's side. They obviously come off the back of a 4-1 win versus Ipswich. Confidence instilled in the side now. 3 consecutive Premier League wins in a row. 7 goals scored in that time, only 1 conceded. Things are starting to come back together for Tottenham. Return of Vicario in goal. The defence looking a little bit more solid. But I think what we've seen in recent weeks is a right-hand channel that's very, very dangerous going defensively and also going forward. And they're going to be the key players in this game here for me. Jed Spence refound himself, looking so comfortable in the ball. Great challenges defensively, covering off and protecting that back line. Dejan Kulusevski is almost a secondary winger, playing as a right centralised attacking midfielder. Fantastic. We know how good he's been for them this season. And then Brennan Johnson's just been a consistent goal throughout this season, coming off 2 goals last time out versus Ipswich. That right-hand channel, if they're on form yet again, City are in for all sorts of trouble. A team that hasn't been good enough defensively, and to be honest, hasn't been good enough going forward as well. They lacked imagination in their 2-0 loss to Liverpool. A lot of possession, a lot of shots, but not much, XG. And that's one of the few times that actually XG makes sense in a game. They didn't really create enough for me, and they haven't really been incisive enough in some major games, in key games, and they stand up for me. They scored an abundance of goals in some games, and then just look like they can't score in others. And that's just an imbalance, which has shown a sign of the inconsistency of this City side. It's conceded 8 goals in the last 5 games. They've only scored 9, just way too leaky defensively. But I think with this Man City side, and this iteration of this Man City side, it's all about how many goals they can score. And in this game here, versus a Tottenham side that we know plays a high line and can send numbers forward, Omar Marmoush is the man for the moment. Play long balls in behind, play to his strengths of being a direct, speedy runner in behind back lines. This is his game to tear apart this Tottenham side, so he has to be central to Man City's plans going forward. These are the games he lives for, Omar Marmoush. His style, archetype of player is perfect for a game versus Tottenham, so look to him to be pivotal. And also, chances created. Savinho. He is the guy. Whenever he's heavily involved on the ball a lot, getting assists, getting touch of the football, Man City look like such a better side. So look to him to be heavily involved in terms of the chance creation in the final third in this game here. I think City do go over the line in this one. Surprisingly not. I've got to win this game 2-1 away from home. They get a little bit of mini revenge over Tottenham this season after that 4-0 loss in the Premier League. And they get back to some confidence in the Premier League. Our penultimate game is another massive one. Liverpool and Newcastle from Anfield. Liverpool come off the back of a huge 2-0 win versus Man City. The first time they've done a double against Man City in, I think, 5 or 6 years now in the Premier League. So a massive moment for them in that game there. 8 goals in the last 4 Premier League games shows that that attacking style of their game is back to its best once again. But for me, the worry is defensively. Conceding 5 goals in that same time there, they've got to cover off a little bit better defensively. Looking at Robertson, looking at Canate alongside Van Dijk, a little bit more protective of that Liverpool goal. But in terms of going forward, it's pretty simple yet again. The key player has to be Mohamed Salah, continuing to tear this league apart. 1 goal, 1 assist versus Man City last time out. He'll be so important to break down a very vulnerable Newcastle back line that is equally has been underwhelming this season in terms of defensively come the second half of the year. So look to him to have his fingerprints all over this game here. And once again, Dominic Szoboszlai, the underrated man, the underspoken about man in that number 10 or potentially the false 9 like he did versus Man City. He had a golden assist last time out as well. He is going to be so, so important. Newcastle sometimes overplay playing out from the back. Bournemouth were the beneficiaries of that a few weeks ago when they pressed. Dominic Szoboszlai can bring that press to this Newcastle backline and cause problems to them. So look to him to be the leader of the counter press. Look to him to be the player to assist the Mo Salahs or create chances or score goals himself. So another massive game required for Dominic Szoboszlai in this game here as well. Newcastle got that crazy 4-3 win last time out versus Nottingham Forest. 10 goals in the last 5 games. Again, another team that's dominating in terms of attacking football. And can travel well with this as well. 4 wins out of the last 5 Premier League away games shows they can travel the road and they've got that talent to take to the best teams in the competition. For me, when I look at this side here, I think Bruno Guimaraes as a leader, as a captain, as a leader, that midfield trio has to be much better. Quieter versus Nottingham Forest, quieter across the last 3 or 4 games. I'm looking at him to be that real bully, that bruiser in midfield, get at the Liverpool midfield, offset them, be the leader of that Newcastle mentality, which is biting at the feet of midfielders, pressing well, controlling the ball when they have it. He's the leader of that, alongside an energetic Joe Willock. These guys are going to be at their best to really offset Liverpool's dominance in midfield. So look to those two to be the key drivers of this performance from Newcastle United. Obviously a crazy 3-3 draw last time out between these two teams in the Premier League. I do see Liverpool, though, getting the result here. I think they continue this great run of form. They continue to stretch that lead at the top of the Premier League table. I've got them win this game 3-1. It can be tough early on, but as the game grows deeper, the quality will come to the top and Liverpool will get the win. We move back down to London as West Ham take on Leicester in our final midweek game here. West Ham coming off the back of a fantastic 1-0 win at the Emirates last time out. That puts to an end a 4-game winless run for the club and only their 3rd goal in their last 5 games. So it's really been a problem for the side going forward. And I think in this game here, I looked at those two wing-backs yet again to stand out. Wan-Bissaka and Scholes were fantastic versus Arsenal, not only defensively, but getting forward and getting balls into the box. Look to them to be important and central yet again to this West Ham side. And obviously Jared Bowen up top. He has been the guy for West Ham this season. 7 goals for a side that doesn't score many. It's so important. So look to him yet again to be the leader of the line for this West Ham side. Looking at Leicester, it was a bit of a joke last time at a 4-0 loss to Brentford at home. They've struggled so far this season. Have only scored 2 goals across the last 5 games. They've not kept a clean sheet in the last 22 games. It's all over the place for the side. For me, it's Danny Ndidi and Soumare. Can they be better in terms of protecting that back four, which is so vulnerable? Can they compete with West Ham's midfield, who we know like to control the game, especially under Graham Potter? So massive game for those who are in the holding midfield positions. We've seen a few times this season when Leicester have been competitive, they've matched the midfield area. So look to Soumare and also indeed to try and match the West Ham midfield, because they'll want to play with possession. They'll want to play that Graham Potter way. And if they get overrun in their Leicester, I can't see them having any avenue into this game here. As such, I do see West Ham win this one, winning it quite convincingly yet again. West Ham 3, Leicester 0. Leicester another bad performance away from home this season. So that, ladies and gents, brings my prediction video to an end for match day 27. Midweek fixtures back in the Premier League for what might be one of the last times we see this season. So a bit sad to see, but we love this time of the year. There's so much Premier League football going on. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on my predictions? What's your predictions? Let me know in that comment section down below. I love the interaction we get down there on these videos here. If you enjoyed this video, please smash a like on it. Subscribe to the Players and channel for more videos and podcasts like these. Press that post notification bell so you know we upload here on the channel. And also, join the membership club to support the channel. A few dollars a month to try and support me. We'll be getting exclusive videos out once or twice a month. You'll get early access to the podcasts that come out weekly and other exclusive perks when it comes to live streams and watch-alongs. So please join the starting 11, the membership here on the channel. With that being said, guys, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the midweek football action, and I'll see you guys in the video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.